I made one announcement to a 7th grade homeroom about a missing note, and by the time I found it, I had 4 confessions, a conspiracy theory, and a full staff ranking by student disapproval. I made one announcement to a 7th grade homeroom class about a missing note, and by the time I found it, I had 4 confessions, a conspiracy theory, and a ranking of the school staff by how much the students disliked them. I was subbing on a Wednesday, 40-minute homeroom, 6th period, then I was done. Easy day. The permanent teacher, Mr. Weller, left a sticky note on his desk. Admin emailed, our parent is looking for a handwritten note her son left at school on Friday. If you have a moment, maybe ask the class. So at 8:47 a.m., I asked the class, has anyone seen a handwritten note that might have been left behind on Friday? The room went weird. I can only describe it as 23 faces, all independently deciding whether they'd been caught. A hand went up in the 3rd row. Cody Tillman, according to the seating chart, 12 years old, wearing a Minecraft hoodie. Is it about Jessica? He asked. I had no idea what that meant. It's just a note a student left. The parent is looking because I wrote a note about Jessica. He came up and placed a folded piece of lined paper on my desk. I wasn't trying to do anything creepy with it. I was just writing down my plan. I opened it. It was a 14-step plan to ask a classmate named Jessica to the winter dance. Step 4 was, casually mention you also like her favorite band. Google this first. Step 11 was, have Tyler stand nearby as a confidence witness. There was a backup plan for if she said no, which involved acting like I was asking for my friend. There was a backup plan for the backup plan. It was thorough. It was not the missing note. Before I could say anything, 2 more hands went up. Priya and another girl, Danny, came up together. They placed a note on my desk. We didn't mean for anyone to find this, Priya said. It's a ranking. It was a ranking of every teacher in the school from 1 to 11, graded on categories including talks too much, bad breath, assigns work on Fridays, and vibe. Each teacher had a total score out of 40. The gym teacher scored a 9 out of 40. Notes beside his name said, surprisingly fine. Mr. Weller was ranked 3rd. I was listed at the bottom with a question mark and the annotation, new, jury still out. I told them I'd keep this between us, which I should not have said, because the next student who came up assumed that meant anything confessed to me was confidential. I sat there for a moment trying to determine if I was legally obligated to do anything with information volunteered by a 7th grader. I decided the answer was probably no and kept moving. His name was Declan. He put a note on my desk that appeared to be a seating chart with small coded symbols in each box. He explained, unprompted, that the dots indicated who in the class was willing to share answers on the vocabulary test discreetly. I stared at him. Declan, I can't. There's also another note, he said, but that one's not mine. The other note came from a girl named Blythe, who brought it up folded into the shape of a swan. Inside was a detailed timeline alleging that the lunch lady, Mrs. Odom, had been microwaving students' personal food and replacing it with inferior cafeteria items, and that Blythe had been collecting evidence since October. She estimated the operation had affected at least 40 meals. I looked around the room. 12-year-olds were watching me the way you watch someone realize they've stepped in something. Is any of this, I said carefully, the note the parent called about? Nobody answered for a moment. Then a kid in the back row, who hadn't moved this entire time, held up one finger and reached slowly into his backpack. He placed a folded piece of paper on his desk. I found this in my backpack Friday. I forgot it was in there. I walked back and unfolded it. Eggs, milk, bread, 1 box Tide Pods, the small ones. Call grandma. His mom's handwriting, confirmed when the school called her. She'd slipped a grocery list into his bag on the way out the door. I returned Cody's dance plan, the teacher ranking, Declan's vocabulary syndicate, and Blythe's cafeteria conspiracy without incident. I submitted a 1-page incident report because it felt like the responsible thing to do. The vice principal called me the next day. She said it was the most detailed sub notes they'd ever received. I haven't subbed since. The jury is still out on me, apparently.